Let's continue our discussion with some tricks to power up our shell environment, because as a penetration tester or red teamer or even ethical hacker, you are going to work a lot with your shell. There's a lot of commands, there's a lot of configurations that should be done on your shell. So run the terminal emulator. Let me just zoom in and run sudo apt update. So apt is the package manager for Kali Linux or any Debian or Ubuntu distro. So sudo apt update will go through some download operation, and it downloads the latest repository information, so you can have the latest versions, what configurations are done recently, and everything else. So sudo apt update, put the password of your user. This will go and update your repository. So as you see, the update is completed. You can go for upgrade to upgrade your packages. So if I do here, I need about 1 gigabyte 717 megabytes in order to actually upgrade my packages that are listed here. But here I just want to install my required packages for this lecture. So sudo apt install. The first package is called Terminator, and Terminator is just like this terminal emulator, but with some splitting features, with some management features and bind keys. The next thing that we want to install is ZSH. We are in bash environment right now, but we are going to need a more advanced shell environment, which is called ZSH. And then I want to install the TMUX. TMUX is a shell multiplexer. It has a lot of features. I will show you the important ones, and you will really like these three packages combined together. So go for the installation. It wants to install these packages for me. So the installation is completed, almost completed. So the first thing that I want to do is click on this dragon icon here and type Terminator and close our previous shell here. So this is the Terminator environment, and it has some bind keys. For example, Control-Shift-O will split the window for you and in actual horizontal style, and Control-Shift-E will do it on vertical format. And Control-Shift-T will open another tab just like a browser. So as you see, we have a new tab here. So some real simple features here. So for example, if I zoom in and then call Control-0, it will get back to its previous or default zoom status. So let's see the preferences. So there's a lot of options that you can configure for yourself, but in profile and here I just want to increase the font. So let's go with Fira, bold italic, and also I want to increase the size. So let's see. So you see the font size is enough to continue. So let's move forward to the next package, which is called ZSH. So if I call ZSH right now, so this was bash, our previous environment, and this is ZSH. So you see the style is really hacky. So you can continue on the next line, and you have some information here, which is your user, the host name, and the path that you are in. So for example, if I go in var.dub, it will show me this. So this is some features of ZSH, but if we want to have them all or most of them, just click here and go into the Firefox and search for OhmyZSH. And OhmyZSH is a repository on GitHub. It has a website also, ohmyzsh.sh, ohmyz.sh. But this GitHub will guide you through the installation. So let's do the installation. So as I told you, it has a lot of configurations prepared for you, so you can use them. It has a lot of plugins and themes. So do you want to change your default shell to ZSH? And I say yes. So it wants my user password to do some super user operations. So you see the prompt is changed. If you didn't have this prompt for yourself, I'm sure you're going to have it, but if you didn't, call to make ZSH your default shell, call CHSH, and let's see the options. So -s and some bash scripting syntax with ZSH. So this will change your default share to ZSH. Okay, so if I do Control Shift O, as you see, the default is ZSH. And if I do, for example, bash here, and I exit this one, put the password, as you see, the default shell is bash. So let's move forward with the rest of the configurations. So this is all my ZSH. I want to go to my home. So an empty cd command will get you back to your home folder. And do nano is a text editor, dot zsh rc. So this file is the configuration file. And you see the temp is RobbieCell. Let's do Control Shift O and go into my ZSH. So this directory has a lot of files. Go to the themes, and here is a lot of themes that you can use based on your favorite style that you choose, but I personally use this theme, so you should copy the name before this .zsh and put it here. So Control Shift K in nano cuts, Control K cuts, and Control U pastes. So comment one of these and go paste this one. So Control Shift V paste the text for you. So let me just do Control Shift E and exit this one. So let me just exit all that, please. Yeah. So this is the Zhuang whatever plus theme here. So as you see, the theme is really great. You have your user, you have your host name, you have your current path, you have the date, today's date, with your hour, and you can type on the next line right here. So I think this is really clean. It has everything that we need, but you can go and try some of these. There might be some better themes here. So get back here and go to the plus tab plugins. So ZSH has Control Shift X will full screen this half size pane for us. So as you see, ZSH has a lot of plugins, and plugins are just some shortcuts. For example, I think currently we have the, let me just check this one, the ZSHRC, Control W and search for plugin. So as you see, right now we have Git plugin, and Git plugin folder is right here. So pwd, we are in this address, on my ZSH plugins and Git. So get ls and see the readme. We can see it with less. So you see it has some aliases and some command shortcuts. So if you run G, it will run Git for you. If you run GA, so the corresponding command will run. So this is really great for people who use the Git repositories. For example, if they are developers or something, they can use this plugin. But there is a lot of other plugins. For example, go to Nmap plugin. I'm really working with the previous theme here. Let me just update my, Control D closes the tab for you or the pane for you. So pwd, as you see, I'm in Nmap. So less on Nmap, readme, Control Shift X. So as you see, we have some aliases here. Nmap open ports, scan for open ports on the target. Nmap fin, scan to see if hosts are up with TCP fin scan. So as you see, these are the plugins of ZShell. Let me just get back here. Another feature of the ZSH shell is actually a smart history. So if I do ls1, ls2, ls3, ls4, whatever, and if I type ls and click the up arrow key, as you see, I can just navigate through all my ls commands. Another feature of ZSH is if you do, let me see, what do I have here? So if I do ls and I type, as you see, ESK, it will complete desktop for me. So as you see, for example, if I type loads, it will complete for me the downloads. It has a lot of features. For example, if you type kill is a command to kill the processes and end them. But if I do kill and press tab, I can navigate through all my processes that belong to my user Udemy, and I can kill whatever I want. So let me get back to the configuration. So you see the theme here. So do you want it to be case sensitive, true or not? hyphen insensitive. There's a lot of options. Auto update. No, I don't want to disable auto update. So the number of the days update should be done. For example, every 1 day, it will pull the recent updates from ZSH repository or my ZSH repository. So there is a lot of configs. For example, if you want your history stamps to be like this, the month, the day, and the year. And also plugins. But please note, plugins will slow down your shell, so I don't want Git, so I delete it. It's just source ZSH or my ZSH.sh. This file gets updated whenever ZSH is called, and other options. So you can save this with Control X and enter. So this is the ZSH environment, we have it. Let's go for the TMUX configuration. So if I call TMUX, you see some panel on the bottom of the page. So TMUX is a shell multiplexer. One of the most important features of TMUX is everything is running on the background. So if I do, for example, htop, we don't have a top. So if I do top and I close by accident or whatever this window, so let's run Terminator again. The default shell is ZSH, and I type TMUX list my sessions. It says you have one session, session number 0, and it has 1 Windows, and it is created at this. For people who have worked with a screen command, TMUX is just the same, almost the same, but with a lot of features. So I say TMUX attach to session, and the session number is 0. So you see my top command is up and running, and I didn't lose any actually process or activity here. But I want to have the full power of TMUX within all its features. So let's grab a cool config file here. It is called github / this name here, gpack/.tmux. You can search for all my TMUX on Google. But this repository will have some files for you which are really great. So it says cd to the home folder. So let's follow the installation. It says do git this. It says create a symlink. So ln is just the shortcut in Windows, but in Linux ln does a soft link of this folder to this file. So let's do it. So if I do ls-ltrha, yeah, as you see, this address is pointing to this file here. And we have another file called tmux.local, and we want to copy it to the current working directory from this folder, .tmux. So let me exit the TMUX, and if I run the TMUX again, you see a lot of features here. So I have my current session number. For example, if I run Terminator and run TMUX again, you see the session number increased. So this is the session number. Let's close this one. And don't forget that TMUX session is still running. But we have a problem here. We don't have ZSH as our default shell. So we have 2 configurations that we should put inside our tmux.conf. So narrow down to the beginning of the comments and Ctrl+Shift+V these 2 files. So set the -option-g default command, and let's do this in your TMUX configurations and make it ZSH, and also clean this one being ZSH. So grab note and implement in your config. Basically what this is saying is that please make my default shell inside TMUX to be ZSH. So save this file, and also TMUX kill -server because the server should be restarted. So run TMUX. As you see, the default shell inside TMUX is ZSH. So the session number, the uptime of the system, the default shell, which is ZSH or currently in use shell, your battery status, 99%, the current time and date, which we also have it here, your user and your hostname. But there's a lot that TMUX can do for you. For example, it has a lot of bind keys. Let me just do the bind key. The bind key is Control-A, so you see the keyboard at the bottom. And for example, double quote will split the page horizontally for you. And the bind key, the percentage key, also splits vertically for you. And Control-D will exit the panes. Control A as the bind key and also calling the letter C will create another C windows for you. Control A and clicking the M letter enables the mouse mode, so you can navigate between whatever it is with the mouse. So as you see, the mouse mode is enabled, and this icon here. So what else we have? For example, if you have, let's do some set command. So these are the environment variables. So if you do Control A, enter, you can just navigate just like a text editor inside these texts. So this will be handy in some situations for you. And also in this situation, if you call Control S, you can search, for example, for color, and it says 1 results. But if I search for call, for CO, we have 11 results. And if I do enter and click N, it will navigate through the findings, and Shift N will do this backwards. So you see, I can navigate through a lot of options here. If you SSH into some server, the SSH status will be printed here. So sudo service SSH restart the password. So if I do SSH, for example, into myself, let me see the IP address, sudo ifconfig. So SSH Udemy @100215. Put the password. So you see the address changed. So Udemy this address is indicated here. So if you click Shift, if you hold the Shift key and do the left click on mouse, you can copy and do Control Shift C and Control Shift V. You can just paste it here. So there is a lot to say about TMUX. So we have a lot of bindings. You can do, let's just switch to another session. So the prefix is Control actually A, and you can just do, for example, this is for creating a new session. You see, and F lets you choose another session. So find window, for example, I can navigate through different windows or sessions here. Actually, it's called Windowses. Every one of these are Windowses. But if you call another TMUX, that would be another session for you. So a lot of bind keys. Please go and explore this for yourself and see what is going on. So that's it for this lecture. We have our shell up and running, and we will move forward to some Linux basics on the next lecture.